Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a pretty tough reality for young Canadians. A job market so competitive, it's forcing a whole generation to completely rethink their future. Let's get right into it. I didn't think the job market would be this tough. That's from Lauren Hood, a recent political science graduate. And her experience after getting that diploma, well, it's not unique. It really captures a struggle that is becoming all too common across Canada. So picture this. You've just graduated, diploma in hand, and you spend 4 long months just searching for work. That was Lauren's reality.
And in that time, she sent out 50 applications. 50. Just to give you an idea of the competition, one company she applied to had to close its online portal early because it got over 450 resumes for just one single role. It's wild.
So after all that effort, all those applications, you know how many interviews she managed to land? Just 2. And the final result? 0. Zip. Not a single job offer. Not for the career she'd studied for, and not even for retail or service jobs. It's a really tough pill to swallow. And sadly, it's a story a lot of young people can relate to right now. Yeah, Lauren's story is powerful, but here's the thing. She is absolutely not alone. This isn't just one person's bad luck. It's a huge national trend, and the numbers, well, they really back it up. Okay, get this. In September, the youth unemployment rate shot up to 14.7%. Now, if you take out the weirdness of the pandemic years, that is the highest it's been in 15 years. That is a huge red flag for the job market. And this didn't just happen overnight. It's been a slow burn for decades. Back in 1989, you had almost 80% of young people in stable, full-time jobs. Fast forward to today, and that number has absolutely tanked to less than 60%. We're talking about a serious long-term decay in job security for an entire generation. So, you gotta ask, what is going on here? What's behind this whole struggle? Well, it's not just one thing. It's more like a perfect storm of economic pressures, all hitting at the exact same time. We can really boil it down to 4 big things. You've got economic headwinds, some pretty rapid population growth, the rise of AI, of course, and then these lingering scars from the pandemic. Let's dig into how these all fit together. All right, first up, you've got a slowing economy. Things like trade uncertainty are making companies nervous, so they're just not hiring as much. But, and this is a big but, at the very same time, the population is growing fast. A lot of that is because of policies meant to fill jobs after the pandemic. The end result is, well, it's simple math, right? You have way more people fighting for a smaller and smaller pool of jobs. And then there's this idea of economic scars from the pandemic. It's a term a consultant named Lisa Taylor uses, and it's a really good one. It's about how lockdowns basically robbed young professionals of those crucial years of in-person networking. All those little connections you make that can totally shape the start of your career. Okay, and if that wasn't enough, let's throw AI into the mix. A lot of those basic entry-level tasks that used to be the first step on the career ladder, AI can do them now, and that creates this dangerous gap. It leads to the huge question, if you can't get that first job, how on earth do you get the first 5 years of experience that everyone seems to demand? So this intense pressure, it's not just about a paycheck. It's having this massive ripple effect on life's biggest milestones, and it's really putting one major Canadian dream on hold. Just look at this. It's kind of staggering. Back in 1986, it took a young person, say 25 to 34, about 5 years to save up a down payment for a house. 5 years. Today, that same goal takes 14 years. It has nearly tripled. What used to be a sprint for their parents' generation is now a full-blown marathon. And for some people, this mix of a brutal job market and just the insane cost of living, it becomes too much. This is Osobe Wabiri. He loved his city, but he felt like he was being squeezed out. So, get this. The rent on the apartment he shared in Toronto jumped by $500 a month. Just like that. So he made a really drastic choice. He packed up his life, left the city he'd called home for 10 years, and moved halfway across the globe to Oman. Why? Just to get a foothold financially, something he felt was impossible back home in Canada. Wow. I mean, when you hear a story like that, it's easy to wonder, is this generation just doomed? Are they just set up to fail? Or is there something else going on here? Some experts are starting to think we might be looking at this all wrong. The theory goes like this. Maybe we're not seeing failure at all. Maybe what we're seeing is the timeline itself shifting.
Young people are staying in school longer, right? So naturally they start their careers later. And that just pushes everything else back. Marriage, buying a home, all those traditional milestones are just happening later in life. And speaking of timelines, that brings us right back to Lauren Hood, the young woman we started this whole story with. After 4 months of nothing, of feeling totally stuck, something finally happened.
She was actually interviewing at our local mall and got offered a job right there on the spot. Now look, it's a seasonal retail gig. There are no benefits. It is definitely not what she spent 4 years at university studying for. But, and this is a big but, it's a paycheck. It's a start. And you can just hear the relief in her voice. After all those months of stress and not knowing what was next, her gratitude just for the chance to work again, it really says everything about the kind of pressure these young job seekers are under. And that's really the question we're left with, isn't it? Is this generation facing a challenge that's just too big to overcome? Or are they just rewriting the rules, creating a whole new timeline for what success looks like? The answer to that question isn't just about them. It's going to shape the future of the entire Canadian economy.